Jai Hind everyone, and today we have with us Major Vivek Singh. Sir is 93rd course NDA. He served with the Regiment of Artillery. Then from service he completed, once he had completed his service and he was transitioning, he did his MBA from the ISB Hyderabad. Worked with a very well-known brand in real estate, which is Value-Based Housing Corporation, VBHC. That's an HDFC funded company, and now has been on his own. He has his own startup in the healthcare sector. So it's kind of come a full circle for him from one of the most structured environment to a completely new startup kind of a thing. So today we have invited him to kind of touch on various points where he might be able to help transitioning officers in their transition. So welcome to the talk today, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vipul, for firstly inviting me on this platform. And if I can be of any help to anybody, that would be my privilege. And yes, 100 people logged in. So there is a cause of, I would say, worry also. Why do so many people want to leave Forge? That's the first part. But the second part is, if you have already decided, then yes, I would say it's a good beginning for you to, understand things how they happen. Yeah.
So my first question would be then the welfare-oriented Fauji in you had a good
Intent.
learning from the pragmatic world of business. So that was a loss you had to book in spite of the fact that you could have gotten away with. So you have mentioned networking and you said that some of these Ivy League colleges they provide you that kind of platforms. How helpful these networks actually are, the network, the coursemates network, regimental officers, ISB, corporate colleagues, etc. Is it actually helpful or is it just there as a feeling and to boost confidence?
So, yeah, any network is helpful, firstly. With respect to what you do inside Forge and what you do outside Forge, then I would say that there would be different networks per se. Your coursemate network is for life. So, you can always fall back to them for little helps, helping you in one form or the other, which has got nothing to do with your business part of it. So if you're an entrepreneur, yes, they can hardly help in that manner. They can help spread the word. Probably they can join your, if they can use your services or your product and give good reviews about it, which your good friends would do if your product is or services like that. But then the professional networks, I would say, they matter a lot, and which comes from the kind of a pedigree or the college which you join. So rest be assured that if I do something, there is the ISB alumni network, pan world, which is going to be helping me not only in spreading the message, in ensuring that the adoption of the technology happens. These are the guys who are sitting in all top-notch positions as far as finance sector is concerned, or venture capitalists are there, and you get a headway, and you are kind of looked upon. So if two people are trying to pitch a, let's say, a startup, they would be having a soft corner for a person like me because I belong to their league and their category, and they know me either directly or indirectly through somebody. So those connects always help. So it's better that one should be cultivating these networks. So it's not that one network uh, would kind of, a personal network is a different network, a business network is a different one. But then the more you cultivate these networks, you never know, where you can strike the right chord and there would be somebody appearing whom you never knew and would be helping you out. So develop networks like mad. And it's as simple as Vipul, what he's trying to do. It's a networking platform. So we are out here trying to meet each other and trying to learn from each other. This kind of a thing you will never get outside. Otherwise, had Vipul not taken this initiative, probably would not have been meeting here. And so many of you who are there currently, try and get in touch with each other because you all are interested parties. So you are trying to make a change. So what best than this particular platform to ensure that all these guys who are there currently 104, form, wow, let's say a WhatsApp group of even dated today. We were there today, and you would see that things would start to turn northwards, and since all like-minded people are there, would try and help each other out. That's how you grow. So networking is very, very important. And yes, business networks, I would say, are shared better than your the personal networks. But then again, you never know what works.
So the audience have a lot of questions, and I'm sure they want to. There are a lot of hands being raised. I would ask a couple of last from my side. Broad piece of advice for the mental shifts which armed forces officers need to do if they want to follow a similar path. That is one, transition to corporate, and then, God willing, be entrepreneur.
Okay, so firstly, I would say that follow this path. Don't make mistakes right in the very beginning, because then recouping would be very, very difficult. So if you're planning a transition, might as well do it from do an MBA from a good college. And if you don't do an MBA, ensure that you land up in a good MNC where there is some kind of a defined work culture. Try and understand how these guys do things. And then, while if you want to be an entrepreneur, then try and understand, what is the problem which you are trying to solve. There may be two kind of problems. One problem which you can kind of relate to, like I did what I was able to relate to, and it did not happen, this that the market was big. But if there is a problem to solve, always, people I think would be watching Shark Tank and all. So in fact, Aman Gupta, who's there, he is my ISB classmate. So, and he always says that, always look the bigger picture, which is the TAM, total addressable market. So ensure that you have a big market to cater to. Then everybody's interested, because they know that if you're able to make a small dent, that is a big thing. But if the market is very, very small, you may be doing whatever you may be doing, but nobody would be interested. So you'll be wasting your efforts. So ensure that, do good things, all I can say, but be very, very learned, be very, very practical, and discuss. So this kind of a platform, as far as mentorship is concerned, try and approach anybody who has done this before you. There is no point in reinventing the wheel every time. Learn from others' mistakes, and you may not follow exactly what they are telling, but you will get an idea. It's kind of a more of a PCK, that this guy landed in trouble, so I should be at least be watchful of those things. So be watchful. So any advice is a good advice. You may follow it, you may not follow it, but it will help you build a kind of an environment where you would be able to virtually relate yourself कि हाँ ये ऐसे ऐसे होता है तो ऐसे ऐसे I have to uh, that's the way I would like to do it. Or for example, जैसे फौज में भी you would have seen a CEO कि वो आया था and you were a youngster कि the way he handled things, and then you think यार अगर मैं CEO बनूंगा तो मैं भी ऐसे ही so I'll be able to handle things. So similarly, it's that way. Seek mentorship. It's very important, because there are people who are willing to help. It's not that, ki, aaj bhi, what was my purpose is to tell you certain things so that you do well, and don't be in the blind. There is somebody always there to help you. Point is, are you ready to seek help? So if you're ready to seek help, there are people to help you, to guide you. And still, I would say that do whatever you find it fit enough, but mentorship is a must. Always seek that.
My last question, sir, and then we'll open it to the audience.
Okay.
A lot of officers have this restraint, especially from the fighting arms, armored, artillery, mech infantry, from Navy, the executive officers and all, that they are at disadvantage when it comes to transition. Is that really so? Or I mean, it's just kind of something which has been said and going on. And I mean, would you like to challenge this notion?
Yes and no. Yes, because how they perceive a 4G is you can't do anything about it. So I would say 10 years back, 4Gs were perceived as somebody who can be a good fit as far as administrative job is concerned. Probably be just a good HR manager. People were not ready to entrust, or let's say a security officer. So उसके अलावा the perception was not there. उनको लगता ही नहीं था कि यार इनको we can interest with any kind of a you know a profit center, कि इसको क्या बोलेंगे धंधे का जिसको पता ही नहीं, जिसने कभी कुछ किया ही नहीं है. So those things are now changing, and to a large extent now people find that Fauji's are a good fit for as far as operations job is concerned. So those are the things where you, I would say, also have a heads up, because that's an opening which is always available to you. But if that is the thing which you want to do, then you can always go ahead. But if it is that what you do not want to do, then yes, there is a hurdle, which is a no. So they would still perceive you in that manner, and you will have to cull your own path. Now, for example, a EME officer may get a job much more easily had he not acquired any other additional qualification, which means that if he is not an MBA as such, then him getting treated with a GD kind of a person, infantarian. So EME guy is always going to be having an added advantage. So infantarian would not be. But good MBA would, nullify all these aspects. So choosing a career path would mean that the transitioning is not कि मेरे 20 साल हो गए हैं, मैंने अब छोड़ देना है और मैं नौकरी पकड़ लेनी है. आर्मी तो खैर अभी it is offering you, a tie-up with Amazon and other things. So that is a shortcut. So if you can get into Amazon by doing, even a 6 months executive MBA, because they know it that you have done a 6 months executive MBA. But it would be better if you really can make a choice, make that effort of doing an MBA from a good college. Ensure that even before you leave, you prepare yourself, because you have ample amount of time. कोई आपको वहाँ, everything you can do. Yeah, nobody is troubling you in Forge after a particular point in time. So after, let's say, 15, 16 years, you've got all the time to make that choice. So be prepared. Do a MBA from a college where they understand that this guy has got something, and they also understand that he has taken time out and taken that risk which others would have not, and then done, gone ahead and did his MBA. So he would be preferred over, let's say, other guys who have just kind of done a 6 months executive MBA. So yes, in that sense, ensure that you tick all the check boxes. So in my scheme of things, I would say a good checkbox would be do an MBA from a good college, join a good corporate, and if you want to stick around, stick around. If you want to change the sector, then ensure that you don't get into a typical sector where there is no exit. So pick up a generalized role if you really want to change sectors. HR is one such role. Operations may not be, because you get fixated into a kind of operations and it is very difficult to exit from that kind of a role. Administration, security, all these things, even marketing, sales, these are all sector agnostic roles. So pick these so that you can transition and make jump. So for example, pehla job na chahte hue bhi, I am, let's say, in Delhi, but I got a job in Bangalore and I had to pick that up. But if I want to get back to Delhi, तो मुझे लेकिन मेरे सेक्टर में नहीं मिल रहा, but I can switch sectors and come back to Delhi in the same role. So understand the differentiation between a sector and a role. So don't get into a situation where the sector is also very specific and the role is also very specific, wherein you'll get stuck into that kind of a thing, and then exiting would be a very, very bad proposition. Probably you will get stuck forever in Bangalore and not even come out of it. Other thing is that if you want to be an entrepreneur, then ensure that you learn as much as you can, do as much mistakes as you can. ठीक है, mistake ही होगी, वो उनको ही पता है कि यार ये नया नया है. So learn at somebody else's expense. Try out whatever you want to try out, because eventually you know that you want to be an entrepreneur. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, then search for a good problem to solve. So if you do all these things properly, rest be assured that you'll get success.
All right, thank you so much. That all these pieces of advice which you have given, I hope that officers will imbibe it and have a successful transition. So as to sum up, Spend time and energy in securing admission in a good BA so that the corporate takes you more seriously and you're given more meaningful roles. Start with a good big MNC so that the structures and working of corporate are you're able to have an insider view. Pick up some sector agnostic role so that it's easier to switch. And finally, from there, if you want to be an entrepreneur, then solve a problem which has a bigger total addressable market. There's a lot to do and a lot to conquer. Thank you so much, sir, and we wish you one very bright future ahead.